Hello, Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, trans-suffering, what does that mean? Well, Matthew May gave us this original in the ITI Facebook group. I thought it was absolutely genius, and I said, I'm going to steal that and make a video on it. And I actually defined it. I'll put the definition right up here of what I perceived trans-suffering to be. And I'm going to move through a few points of how you can turn normal suffering into trans-suffering, which is so much more pleasant and can be like this, just move from whatever negative state of being you are experiencing to a much higher state of being pretty quickly and with ease. And what becomes ultimately natural when you do in fact live these concepts for an extended period of time. My suffering now, my trans suffering, is so much it's short-lived. It's changed so dramatically. If I go into an induced state or I start to induce, it's almost like I just fall a little and then bounce, right? This is kind of like what I was talking about on my video in a flash. Turning it all around in a second, right? In an absolute single moment. And transurfing and suffering are not, transurfing is really about you obtaining the ability to tap into an experience of reality where suffering does not exist any longer. Now, obviously, as human beings, shit happens, and sometimes we do start to induce. But again, with these concepts and what I'm going to move through in this video, you will see how suffering can become an absolute thing of the past. Isn't that awesome? So before I get started, remember to like this video, comment below, subscribe, all the courses and links, everything below. Join us on the Facebook group. All of that jazz. Okay, so I know I've been saying I see myself and I see my reality like a lot lately, and it's sort of the starting point on all of my videos, but awareness absolutely is key, right? Without understanding the state in which we are existing in the moment, we are going to be challenged to come out of it. So my number one point, the place to start off from, if you are not living in the layer of reality right now that you want to be experiencing, let's say you're feeling depressed, let's say you're having anxiety, let's say you were up all night with insomnia, let's say you've had a major fight with someone, whatever, and you're not in your ideal state of being. I see myself and I see my reality is your springboard to getting yourself moving in a different direction. Without this, all is lost, at least for that moment, right? So I see myself and I see my reality needs to become like drilled into your head. God, how many times a day I say this to myself now? Even just like before I came into my studio, I pulled up into my parking spot at my studio and I'm like scrolling through my stuff on my phone and I'm just like, I see myself, I see my reality. If I do not get out of this car now and stop wasting time on social media, I'm not going to accomplish the things that I set out to accomplish today. And then maybe even if it's just a little bit, I'm going to leave my studio not feeling as though I did the best that I could do today. And then I'll carry that little thing with me into my next frame. And then if I'm not careful, that can start to snowball, right? So even in the smallest, littlest choices in your day, I see myself, I see my reality. What are my intentions? What is my objective? What is my goal? What is my desired state of being? And if you are not currently acting in line with what it is that you want, I see myself and I see my reality is the quickest way to divert you and get you headed in the right direction. Then 2, make the choice to move from that state of being. Duh. So make the choice to move from the state of being, whatever state of being you are experiencing that is undesirable, declaring it. It's so easy, but at the same time, it's so challenging when you're not in the habit of it. Stopping yourself. I see myself and I see my reality. I know there's something higher and better for me available to me today. And I am going to set the intention and make the choice to navigate to that higher state of being, that higher lifeline, that higher intention, whatever it is. But that declaration is absolutely pertinent. 3, change it with ease in a flash. So if you didn't watch that video in a flash, I would highly recommend it. It's a powerful video. It's about turning it around in a single moment. Once you've sort of followed these 2 things, right? I see myself, I see my reality. I want to make a different choice for myself today. I obtain the ability to make a different choice for myself starting in this moment. And then you go about going through the motions of changing it with ease in a flash, allowing yourself to merge with that version of you that is not suffering, that is not having anxiety, that is not experiencing depression. Now, sometimes it doesn't happen instantly, obviously, especially if we've been resonating at a frequency for an extended period of time before we wake up and make the choice to evolve out of that space. But starting the process, right? Highlighting higher and better information and material, taking anomalous action, doing things differently, making your movements in your layer of reality towards that better version of reality, and not just allowing yourself to stay stuck, right? To resonate with that suffering, resonate in that those murky waters, and wallow in that state of being. Now, there are times that I do allow myself to do that, but I do it with awareness, right? I do it with awareness. And this is also kind of a part of trans suffering. And I know this is probably going to sound a little sick and twisted, but this is what happens when you have been practicing these things for a long period of time, and you kind of have given up on this is good and this is bad, right? Now, if I go into a state of being, let's say something happens, right? Like something happened with a family member recently that was pretty upsetting to me, and it depressed me. I got super depressed about it, and it kind of snuck up on me, and I found myself depressed, and I was like, you know what? Chill, Renee. Like you're going to allow yourself to be depressed a day or two over this. You're going to process it and you're going to get out of it, right? Then you're going to bounce out of it. When you're ready, you will change it in a flash. But for now, you are going to feel it. You're not going to run from it. You're not going to try to change it. You're going to just let yourself exist in this space. And oddly enough, I kind of like these times sometimes now, because it's a little different, because I'm in control of it, because I see what's going on, and I'm not existing in this space and wallowing in these murky waters, sort of saying to myself, why is this happening to me? I don't want this to happen. Why am I not feeling well? Why why am I like this right now? I know why I'm like that. I know what happened. I know everything. And I'm allowing myself to just be human and suffer for a little bit. But again, I have a timestamp on it. When I'm ready to dip out of that state and bounce to a new one, I do it, right? It's about doing things intentionally and with awareness. So regardless if you are suffering for real and allowing yourself to suffer for real, or you're suffering and you don't know how to get yourself out of it, but you're aware that you're suffering, or you're trans-suffering, right? You're just in a brief state of suffering, and you know that you will soon be, you'll soon be gravitating towards some of those higher lifelines. Whatever the scenario is, self-care, self-love, and self-development all the way, right? So this is kind of in line with I see myself and I see my reality. If you're waking up in a state of suffering, intentional suffering, suffering you can't get a hold of, and you're confused and you're lost, or just a brief state of suffering because you have the ability to bounce out of it. This is a great time to be introspective, right? This is a great time to really look at what is going on internally. What's going on internally, what's going on in your mind. Is this a well-worn groove? Is this a place that I'm finding myself in continuously? Am I returning to this state of being because even if I don't like it, it's oddly comfortable, right? Is it a part of my everyday reality? And for me, this was me. God, I suffered so much. I suffered so much in my past. I would become devastated. I had horrible self-esteem, and I was constantly confused and lost and wondering why, and not able to make heads from tails, and questioning myself, questioning my sanity, questioning the intentions of others, questioning my reality, questioning everything. And in this time, I would become consumed with thought to the extent where I would forget about what was actually valuable in that moment, in those moments: self-love, self-care, self-development. So these three things, looking at yourself, looking at what's going on, your part, what you've done to get there, what you can do to get out, observing, and then treating yourself extremely well, right? Loving yourself, giving yourself extremely high levels of self-care. You can actually turn any moment of suffering into an incredibly nourishing opportunity, right? So self-love, self-care, and self-development is kind of like this. If I find myself in a state of suffering, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to allow myself this day to sort of be in this lower state, I immediately go into self-care, self-love, and self-development. Be introspective, long hot baths, treat myself right, buy myself something nice, give myself a nice meal, allow myself to binge Netflix, allow myself to go get a massage. And this just kind of speeds it all up, because at the end of the day, I'm nourished, I'm hydrated, I've spent time with myself, loving myself, and by the next day, I'm out of it, right? I'm totally out of it, and I feel like $1,000,000. I feel better coming out of it than I did before I went in, right? I used it as an opportunity. So 5, to wrap this up, seeing the advantage in every aspect of life, in every aspect of your reality, not only helps you to evolve out of your suffering quickly, right? It's like a magic bullet. It's like a key. As soon as you can source the advantage in the situation, suffering is irrelevant and like totally unnecessary. I heard this saying once and I absolutely love it. When you stop playing the role of a victim, healing is instant. When you stop playing the role of the victim, healing is instant. And there's victim mode and there's advantage mode, right? Victim mode, why'd they do that? Why'd he do that? Why'd she do that? Why is this happening to me? Why am I suffering? Why do I have to experience this? Why? And then there's, wait a second, this is for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And when you can start to approach absolutely every event in life from a place of advantage, when you can wake up, I see myself and I see my reality, I see exactly what's going on. Where's the advantage? It becomes easier and quicker, and you become more efficient at it, and you can bounce right up out of any state of being quickly and with ease in such a spectacular kind of way of just like, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I don't have to do this. And I'm choosing this higher and better version of reality. And then you're there, right? Then you are there, or you are at least halfway there. You're headed there. So trying to seek out the advantage in any moment where you are experiencing a state of suffering, again, this is you pivoting yourself in the direction of a higher and better version of reality and a higher and better version of yourself. Advantage is you spinning on a dime, right? It's you spinning on a dime. So are you suffering today? And do you wish to alleviate some of your suffering and turn it into transurfing? That is just a much, much better option. Do these points resonate with you that I spoke of today? Are you ready to maybe adopt some of these techniques and help yourself out of an induced state and get that to be like your mode of operation, right? You don't just wallow anymore. You spiral up and out of it quickly. Trans-suffering style. Isn't this stuff amazing? My God, I love it. And I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and comment below, like, subscribe, all that jazz, and see you next time.